So the title of the video is Deadpool and Wolverine a masterpiece? No, it's not. However, I did have a lot of fun with the movie. No, it's not perfect. No, it's not amazing, but it's pretty great. It's pretty great. Now, I only seen the movie once. I usually try to see each movie that I review at least twice so I can get a kind of an unbiased review on it. And I've only seen it once. I am seeing the movie again on Sunday, so that's in about a couple days. I'm posting this on Friday as we speak. So I still got to get through, all the hype and all the excitement and stuff. By the way, I'm wearing sunglasses not to look cool, but because I am so tired. I've had such a long day and I am so tired, and honestly, I just thought my eyes looked very baggy, so we're gonna keep these on. Deadpool and Wolverine, directed by Sean Levy, starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. I saw it. There was a lot of hype and excitement about the movie before it even came out. Just knowing that Wolverine was coming back, a lot of people had high expectations about the movie, and for the most part, it delivers. It delivers on the hype. It delivers on the excitement and these expectations, these wild expectations made by fans and stuff like that, including me. I'm not left out of this. I really enjoyed everything that they did with the movie. As a film critic, if I'm being super nitpicky and just, looking at this as a film, there are a couple issues that I had with it, but other than that, man, it was a wonderful time at the movies and something that I really needed because I haven't been to the movies in a really long time, man. This is the definition of a summer blockbuster kind of movie. It got me excited. It was making me laugh the entire time. I was staring at the screen. My eyes were glued to the screen anytime any action scene started, or a musical pin drop kind of started. Not pin drop. Was it called needle drop? There you go. Not a pin drop. It really reminded me of why I love movies and just why I love these Marvel movies in general. First thing we gotta get out of the way that was amazing to me was the chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, Wolverine and Deadpool on screen together. It's amazing. Okay, it's basically perfect, right? It's as perfect as you can get. It's as perfect as what you thought Wolverine and Deadpool would be. And again, we've seen them before, right? We saw X-Men Origins Wolverine. We know that these people have, or these characters have communicated and interacted before, but not like this. Not like this. This is different. The energy is there. Ryan Reynolds does not stop talking. Number one, Deadpool does not stop talking. He is called the Merc with the Mouth for a reason, so he does not stop talking. And there are times where, in the movie, Wolverine gets kind of fed up with him because of it. And Hugh Jackman is able to kind of elevate this character again. Playing the same character for 24 years straight, you would assume that he kind of just will do the same thing that he usually does because fans love it for 20 years. But no, he kind of does something different here, and it's refreshing. I mean, you have Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. He's practically made for being Deadpool. And you have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, who's practically made for being Wolverine. Of course, the chemistry is going to be amazing. And I'm happy to say that, yes, the chemistry here is amazing. It did not let me down at all. Another thing that did not disappoint in this movie was the action. Now, the Deadpool franchise is pretty much known for having that comedy to action kind of ratio perfected. Obviously, the Deadpool franchise is known for its action right next to its comedy. And in this, it also did not disappoint. Now, I was a little bit skeptical because, Sean Levy, as much as I love him as a director, he's really good with character work. I didn't really see him with a lot of action. The bar was set high from Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1. This might be the best action in the franchise. And that's saying a lot when the last directors were David Leitch and Tim Miller. So Sean Levy had big shoes to fill when it came to the action sequences of this Deadpool movie. And man, it was fantastic. But man, when I say the majority of the action in this movie was spectacular, I'm not kidding. It was gorgeous. You literally see every single move, you see every single frame, you see every single blood splatter and all the moves. Nothing gets cut out. It's fantastic. My favorite fight scene though, and I'm so excited to see it again because it was just perfect. It was so well directed, and just the musical cues and everything. It had to do with Deadpool and Wolverine in a van. And that's all I'm going to say right now. But that was just perfect. And oh my God, it was perfect. It was perfect. Sean Levy has definitely proved that he knows how to do action. There was also a really great action scene towards the end of the movie that, again, I'm not going to spoil, but it was great. It was a one take with just Deadpool and Wolverine going crazy, man. And in the background, you just hear Madonna, and it's just, it's fantastic also. So you guys just have to watch it. I really enjoyed that scene. We'll talk more about it in the spoiler review, which should be coming out on Sunday. So right next to the action, the Deadpool franchise is known for being hilarious. This one is also hilarious. No real surprises there. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, this is his baby of a franchise. This whole character is just, it means so much to him. Of course it was going to be hilarious. So I had no real issue with that. So obviously the movie is hilarious, but not just because Deadpool just, makes a lot of references and makes fun of everybody, but it's funny down to the editing portions of it. Comedy is sometimes enhanced by the edit, and there are a few moments in here where, like, yeah, the joke isn't that funny, but the way it's edited and, like, small mannerisms and everything by background actors and the main actors themselves, it makes it funnier. So it's just like the spirit of the movie is funny, if that makes sense, if I'm even explaining that correctly. But yeah, that's just something that I really liked about the comedy. I really want to single out Hugh Jackman here for a second. There's a scene where they really let Hugh Jackman play with this new version of Wolverine, because it's not the same as the older X-Men movies. It's not the same as Logan, but this is a new Wolverine, and he kind of gets a little bit more leeway to try some new stuff. There is a scene where, Wolverine just gets fed up with Deadpool talking, and he absolutely grills him. And the acting behind it with Hugh Jackman kind of just, it's all in a one take too. Only cutting to Deadpool a couple times, but that whole scene just showed that, yeah, Hugh Jackman is back. He's not just doing the same thing as he did for the last 24 years. He's actually doing a lot with just that little bit of dialogue that he had. And he's not phoning it in. He actually really wanted to come back because he loves this character, and you can see it in that scene. Also, he moves differently in this too. He moves more like an animal. He's a little bit more, I guess you could say, comic book accurate, in the sense that, he moves like an animal. Just down to the way he fights, to the way he crouches, and his posing and everything. It's so cool. It's so cool to see, because we're getting Hugh Jackman, but we're also getting like a new kind of iteration of it, which is so fun. Real quick, I want to talk about the cameos. I'm not going to spoil them here, but the cameos were super exciting. Let me just say that right now. The cameos were super exciting, and yes, as a Marvel fan, I was very happy and pleased with what I saw. Cameos can be done very terribly. In this movie, they were not done terribly, and here's why. Every cameo that you saw in here actually had a purpose. And with a lot of the reviews that you're watching, they probably say the same thing. They all had a purpose. And it's true. All of them did have a purpose to be in the movie. These characters pushed the story along. It was also really cool to see them, but the characters pushed the story along and gave our main characters things to do because they were added into the story. So it was a good way to do cameos, right? Last thing I want to talk about is the soundtrack. The soundtrack was fucking great. I mean, there was a lot of great songs, and then, great music played at the right times. I can't complain. All right, man, and just to wrap things up, let me talk about the cons for a little bit. My number one issue with the movie is the plot. The plot is not that strong, okay? It's a pretty weak plot, especially when you compare it to Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1. It's a pretty weak plot. However, the thing that makes it up for me is the character work and the action and the comedy, right? So there's still a lot of good things about the movie. I just thought that, the plot and the reasoning why Deadpool has to do certain things kinda didn't really, it just wasn't strong. I mean, that's the best way to put it. It just wasn't that strong. Another con that I had about the movie was the villain. Of course, I mean, MCU projects, they're not known for having strong villains. They have like maybe 4 or 5 strong villains out of, 30 or whatever, however many movies. And yeah, Emma Corrin, you know, she's a really good actress. She does her best here. She just doesn't have a lot to do. It's the standard Marvel villain kind of trope, evil for evil's sake. Not really much of a point. She kind of just wants to control certain things, and that's the extent of her character. And the last negative that I wanted to point out here, for me at least, was the pacing. This movie is rapid fast. There's dialogue getting spewed out like crazy, and you're not really going to get everything on the first viewing. You're not really going to catch every single thing on the first viewing. That's cool, but just the pacing of it, I feel like Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 were definitely paced better. It let the story breathe a little bit. It had character moments where, you know, you can kind of feel for these characters. And I'm not saying that this movie didn't have those. It just didn't have a lot of those, and it didn't have as many as, you know, Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1 did. So again, is Deadpool and Wolverine a masterpiece? No, it's not a masterpiece. Did I have a lot of fun with it? Yes. Were there a lot of good things in the movie? Yes. Do I think the movie is great? Yes, I do actually. You know, the stuff that they did with the character work, you know, the direction of everything, you know, the performances to the action to the soundtrack. Overall, I think the movie is great. It's just not a masterpiece because of, you know, my pacing issues with it. The villain was just standard MCU villain. And then the plot was a little bit weak. I feel like we could have had a better story to it. But man, fuck all that. None of that fucking matters. We got Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman back as Deadpool and Wolverine. So that's all that really matters. For me personally, I'm going to give Deadpool and Wolverine an 8.5 out of 10. I feel like that could change after I see it for a second time, but I feel pretty confident thinking 8 to 8.5 right now. Let me know down below what you thought about Deadpool and Wolverine in the comment section. It is currently Friday, so on Sunday I'm going to be doing a spoiler-filled live stream. Now, we're going to be talking about all the spoilers, we're going to be talking about all the cameos, and just, you know, the future of what I think is going to happen next. We're going to talk about all of that stuff in a live stream on Sunday, so don't miss out on that. If you don't want to miss out on it, go ahead and turn on the post notifications down below, subscribe to the channel, and like the video if you enjoyed. My name is Noah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.